So, what do you think?
Cool, but aren't you playing the same shapes all the time?
How dare you? She's kind of right though. If you're like me, you're sometimes frustrated by the fact that you're using the same arpeggio shapes all the time. Learning more advanced and creative shapes looks really intimidating at first. How in the world are you supposed to memorize all that stuff, right? But don't worry, it's so much easier than it looks if you know the trick that I'm about to show you. So after completing today's video, you will know 6 new beautiful shapes that will finally make you sound like a true arpeggio connoisseur. So let's do this. By the way, you're in for a real treat with today's video. I attached our latest Patreon VIP shred collab video at the end and it turned out really awesome. So make sure to stick around for some killer shredding. I will also tell you how you can get featured in the next collab on this channel. So what's this fancy arpeggio trick all about, you might ask? An arpeggio is a broken chord. That's not as sad and dramatic as it sounds, it just means that a chord is broken into a sequence of notes. So instead of playing an A minor chord like this, you're just breaking the exact notes of this chord into an arpeggio shape, playing them individually most of the time, like a scale for example. Maybe a little light bulb already went on. What I'm trying to say here is that you can turn all your favorite chords into amazing sounding arpeggios. And that's exactly what I want to show you today. So the A minor chord consists of the notes A, C and E. That's not really that interesting, but it's this exact quite basic sound that is used the most in rock and metal music. Especially with sweep picking, of course. But what if we take the much more exciting sound of the A minor 11 chord and turn this one into an arpeggio? That is a really cool sound, especially compared to a whole different world. And what if we even add the 9th on top, for example? Now that is a beautiful sounding chord, right? So I'm adding 3 extra notes right here. G, the minor 7th, B, the 9th, because I really love this sound, and D, the 11th. Let's turn this into a really cool arpeggio shape. Check out how sophisticated this already sounds. So what do you think about that? Already a bit better?
Yes, but I would prefer something more exotic.
Exotic, you say? You definitely came to the right place. Do you remember the awesome harmonic minor licks we looked at recently? Well, probably you sadly don't, because most of you guys and girls are still not subscribed to this channel yet. So come on, it's finally time to join our awesome YouTube guitar community right now. It's free and you will definitely benefit from staying on track from now on. So as you know, the harmonic minor scale sounds really interesting and you have a minor major 7th chord on the 1st scale degree. So a minor chord with a major 7th interval in it, and this one sounds really cool. So this one sounds really cool, especially compared to that bland sounding A minor chord. Let's see what happens when we turn this one into an arpeggio. How cool is that? I really love this sound so much. I just added that characteristic major 7th G sharp to the A minor arpeggio and instantly get that awesome harmonic minor sound. So what about that one? Exotic enough for you?
Yeah, but I'm getting depressed with all those minor chords. Try something in major for once.
Girls got a point. Rock and metal players often avoid anything major because it's not cool to sound happy, but you will be surprised with the next shape. What about an A major 7 13 chord? That one's quite interesting. That one sounds a bit more interesting then. Let's apply our awesome trick once again and turn this into an arpeggio. This sounds so much cooler than the boring major shapes we're using way too much. What do you think?
Pretty cool, but how can I practice and memorize all of this? It's quite a lot to digest already.
Oh, I'm very glad that you asked me about this. I created an awesome advanced arpeggio mini course for all of my patrons. Aside from really cool practice play-along videos, tabs, guitar profiles and backing tracks for these 6 shapes, you also get 3 really awesome full arpeggio workout etudes for your practice routine this time. By including this in your practice plan, you will master all the shapes easily. And the best thing about that, you will also know how to apply them creatively from now on to your improvised takes and guitar solos.
Wow, I'm so happy that I'm a member on Patreon. Thanks!
This is super.
But what about modal arpeggios? I love the Lydian sound.
Great question, of course, I got you covered. Let's check out an awesome Lydian arpeggio next. The A major sharp 11 chord really has that awesome Lydian sound because of D sharp. So let's apply our awesome trick once again and turn this one into an arpeggio. So think outside the box and use your knowledge about the modes as well when you're coming up with arpeggio shapes. It will really pay off. Okay, what should we do next?
I want to learn something crazy sounding, like really dissonant but not just random notes.
Great choice, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Maybe because I actually wrote this script. Listen to this. Those were some augmented triads and I really love this sound. Sadly, I don't hear it out there too much aside from fusion music or technical death metal sometimes. You essentially have major third intervals that are stacked on each other right here. Check out how cool and weird that sounds as an arpeggio. Too crazy for you?
No, it's really cool actually. One last request. What's your favorite arpeggio?
So one of my absolute all-time favorites is what I want to show you last. As a reward for sticking around this long, one of my favorite shapes and sounds ever is the A minor at 9 voicing. What an amazing sound, right? You can hear this kind of sound both with chords, samples and of course arpeggios all over my new album Elevation. It just sounds so much more interesting than just relying on the same old boring minor voicings and chords all the time. So this one's actually a lot more simple than other shapes we looked at today. You just have to add one note to the classic A minor arpeggio and that's B, the 9th. But please check out the huge difference in sound when we do this. So make sure to get all the files I made especially for you on Patreon right now to learn all of these shapes. And also make sure to work with those 3 awesome arpeggio play-along etudes I made for you to finally add some spice to your improvisation and songwriting when it comes to arpeggios. Alright, to end this video on a high note, let's check out the really awesome Patreon VIP Club Shred collab we recorded. If you want to be featured in the next Shred collab video on this channel, make sure to join us in the VIP Club on Patreon. You also get access to our secret Facebook group for personal coaching, feedback and inspiration directly from myself and from over 200 awesome dedicated players. That was pretty cool, right? Thanks so much to all the awesome VIP patrons that sent over solos for this collab. Don't think I forgot about this. As always, I still have a random German word for you today. Vermutlich. That one's pretty complicated and it means presumably. Make sure to comment that word below to really confuse everybody who didn't watch this video until the end. Remember to subscribe and leave a like in case you enjoyed this video. See you soon. Bye bye.